Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. I hope our internet. Okay. I was seeing like not full bars and I was getting really nervous that we are going to have a repeat of yesterday. How's everybody doing today? It's Friday. Yay! Is everyone fully recovered from last night? I'm not. I was on cloud nine last night. And then the wall comp, but we're going to get into that. I'm so tired from that. But oh my goodness, what's going on? Good Taste says, I owe Asmodeus my soul, but at least Riley is gone. All right, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Our house guests of the day, we have Tommy O and his pup Snoopy. And Tommy actually sent me a picture of his dog, and Snoopy is just the cutest little baby. We have Jared and Steven from Oklahoma, and we actually have one of our OG viewers, George Lane IV, aka Gio Epe. Thank you so much for the support, all of you. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you all so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, just send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we will get you on the list. Just make sure you put house guest of the day in the subject line so we can find you. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, oh my God, last night was eviction night. We had Riley, Mickey, and Morgan up on the block. Mickey won the blockbuster competition, which was the most chaotic possibility. And because she won that competition, she still has no idea that she would have been evicted last night. She would have been evicted next to Morgan or Riley. She's got no clue. She thinks she's great, right? In a great spot. But we had Riley versus Morgan up on the block. Then, oh my God, by a vote of 5-4, Morgan was safe. Riley was evicted. So if we look at the 5 votes to evict Riley, we had Mickey, Ashley, Will, Vince, and Ava. Some of those were pretty shaky, so I'm still like that they all came through. But it was blindside butterbeans. Riley and the 4 people who voted to keep him were shooketh. And it's so funny because people were putting side by sides of Keanu with his red headband being like, and then Fessy from season 20 when he was all who flipped every week. And the resemblance, it was uncanny. It's all just a little bit of history repeating. Let's say that. So yeah, there were no feeds until the wall competition started, unfortunately, hours later. So I can only imagine the fallout that we missed after Riley's eviction. I mean, hours that we did not get to see. So hopefully we'll get to see a good deal of that on Sunday night's episode. It is supposed to be a supersized episode. So, oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, also they did not do the eviction interviews with Riley today like they normally would. What's going on there? They said it was like a scheduling conflict. I don't think so. I think Riley's schedule was doing anything else. I don't know. But anyway, the feeds came back with the start of the wall competition. It started around 9:30 p.m. Big Brother time. That's so late for the East Coast. But this year's wall comp had a train theme a la Murder on the Orient Express, but this was the Mystere Express. And I loved it. I thought it looked great. Fantastic. Rachel was dressed up like the conductor of the train. She looked fantastic. The highlight of this competition for me was Rachel's performance of all of the different prompts that Big Brother gave her. Like, ooh, that must be starting to burn. Or like, here comes another thunderstorm. Things like that. But the best one was, this is so much better than dealing with a murderous scoundrel. It was wild and a lot of fun. I just can't imagine being on the wall and like hearing her doing that stuff. Yeah, I believe you have a prompt. Rachel had many prompts, but also worth mentioning on the wall this year, there were different handhold options. Instead of just having the arms like this, where they're like at waist height or hip height, they had like wooden slats this year, and they had a low one, they had one that was like here, and then they had one that was like here. So there were definitely different options for people if they wanted to like switch up their positioning, which is interesting. I think that's okay. I'm into it. But there was also this like bump that came out of the wall between each house guest legs. I know that sounds really weird, but trying to hold in a yawn. It was a very late night. Yeah, bump between the legs so that no one was able to just like crouch down, because that's not what this competition is all about. You got to stand up. So Big Brother was hitting them with the cold rain, the steam from behind. There was a goofy Big Brother voice being like, "Oh, we're gonna pass by Loch Ness, and guess what? Unfortunately, Nessie has a cold." And then they got blasted with the green goo. It was supposed to be like Nessie snot. So everybody was doing well for a while. I was expecting the feeds to come on and people were already off, because we've seen stuff like that before. But Will and Ashley were the first two to fall. We did not see them fall because the feeds were down for that, but they lasted close to like 30 minutes. So that's pretty good. I mean, I feel like I saw somebody posted last season's was only like 32 minutes long total, which is embarrassing. So the fact that like the first falls were just a few minutes shy of the total time last year, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So anyway, yeah, they were the first ones out, and then a few minutes later, Morgan was out. Oh my God, wall legend in her own mind, Morgan was the third one out after how much she talked about the wall competition and how she was excited to like test herself. Third one out. So it looked like her foot slipped a bit when she was leaning forward at one point. Also, I think she had a lot of goo on her hands, so she was just slipping and she could not hold it anymore. And I was rooting for her too. But anyway, Will, Ashley, and Morgan, because they were the first three out, they are the three have-nots for the week. I feel like Ashley is going to have such a hard time as a have-not. But anyway, back to this wall competition. Big Brother is hitting them with more goo in different colors. They had some blue. They had some pink eventually. There was more rain. And Mickey was the next to fall around 10:20-ish or so. Ava was off just a few minutes after that. I'm kind of getting the vibe. I was surprised with how long Ava was holding on. I was not expecting her to last that long. But I'm thinking maybe she just really didn't want Mickey to win. So once Mickey was off, she was like, "All right, I'm out of here." Deuces. I think that was probably her main concern here. Excuse me. So then Kelly was the next out at 10:30 p.m. and she was doing the most up there. I mean, when the rain was coming down, she was like opening up her mouth, drinking the dirty rainwater. Blah. Before she fell, she was leaning way forward. She had her arms up here and she was just like trying to stretch her back. But she was also stretching her legs forward off of the ledge one at a time. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, Kelly." And then she ended up falling. So maybe if any of you are watching this and you're finding yourself in the wall competition in the future, maybe don't do that. But we were down to the final four at this point. We have Vince, Lauren, Catherine, and Keanu left. What a lineup! So Keanu falls right around the 1 hour mark. And again, this competition is going longer than a bunch of recent seasons. But it's crazy because I just remember many, many years ago, I feel like these wall comps would go like 3-4 hours sometimes. But recently, not so much, like 45 minutes, 32 minutes, maybe an hour. So the time has been trending down. But this group, they're keeping it together for a bit longer. So that's cool. Lauren had a crazy save at one point where her feet slipped, but she was just hanging on from her arms while the wall was forward. It was crazy. And she recovered after that. But then it happened again and she couldn't hold it. So she was down a few minutes after that, around 10:40. I do think that they're making it more difficult now. I think that they are leaning the wall forward at a steeper incline. So I think that's making it end a lot faster. But then we were down to Vince and Catherine. It's the final two. So if we look at this final two here, Catherine, she just lost her man, right? She's trying to avenge Riley. She's a woman scorned. And Vince is trying to protect his own ass after voting Riley out. And strategically, this is not a great competition for Vince to win, right? Because as Ava has pointed out, he's the gardener. He's got his hand in a lot of pots. So if he wins HOH, he's going to have to show some cards here. However, because he just voted Riley out and he pissed some people off, he's worried about his safety, and rightly so. So I guess he's like, you know what? I just got to do this. I got to win it. So these two are on, just the two of them, for a few minutes. The wall starts leaning forward extra far. Like, it was further than it went the whole rest of the competition. And it was just too much for Catherine. She couldn't hang. So she dropped. Did I mention it was a late night? She dropped at 10:46 p.m., which means that Vince won HOH. This is his second of the season, and he's freaking pumped. He's like, let's effing go. He put on his, like, manly man jock voice and was all, let's go. Are you kidding me? Let's go. So this competition lasted about an hour and like 13 minutes or so, which is respectable compared to like previous seasons. Let's go with it. I'm happy about it. I enjoyed it. But now the question is, what will Vince do this week? This was a clutch win for him. He really needed this to secure his safety after making a big statement, voting out Riley. But now what is he going to do? Who is he going to put up? Because, like, he's supposed to be doing stuff with everybody, right? So when the feeds come back after the competition, everybody's cleaning up. They're trying to warm up. Everyone's freezing. And Vince is talking about how badly he needed that win. And Keanu's like, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are a few people who are not happy with you right now. I'm guessing like Catherine, Kelly, probably Keanu a bit. I'm pretty sure Keanu is disappointed that Vince did not keep Riley when Keanu, Vince, and Riley were supposed to be in a Final Three alliance together. Keanu's whole endgame has been blown up here. But of course, he's not going to say all this stuff to Vince's face now that Vince is HOH. So Rachel and Keanu are then chatting in the kitchen, and Keanu tells her, I don't think for 1 second that you didn't think, or sorry, wait. Okay. I don't think for 1 second that you didn't think you don't have a chance to win if you make it to final two. Basically meaning like, I think you're bluffing when you say, oh, I'm not going to win. Like, nobody's going to vote for me. So he's like, if you didn't think so, you definitely do. I know that's very confusing hearing it back. But Rachel whispers, like, I got to get there. I got to get to the end in order for that to happen. So Keanu's like, well, you're very good at getting there. So the feeds switch momentarily. When they come back, Rachel's telling Keanu, you know, I'm sorry that you lost your friend. And Keanu says, it's okay. I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to win. It just sucks that Riley had to leave so soon. And then after a minute, he's like, you know, I don't want to sound like an asshole. I just want to say, like, I do like that I made friends, but that's not why I came here. So Rachel's like, Riley was coming for my allies, so remember